Hello and welcome to yet another week. Good morning, Goa. We start off the week with the news headlines, the stuff that the papers have been doing, and for the next half an hour, I'll take you through the news headlines, the reports, and all the discussions that were left undecided or untalked about last week. My colleague Rajendra Desai is unfortunately not here today. He'll be back tomorrow, and I will give you company for the next half an hour or so. We start with an alarming headline in the Times of India, which says the JNU student missing, mom and the protesters manhandled. Now, as we all know, this has become a big national story. For the last almost 25 days, there is a student in JNU called Najib Ahmed who has been missing. There has been a hunt for him. He has not been found. The government has been accused of not kind of pursuing his finding in a manner that it should. There are large-scale protests going on. The matter has taken a political color, and at the same time, students from all other universities have also kind of joined in the protest against the government not really taking any action in getting back Najib. What has led to a further problem in the whole situation is that Najib's mother, who joined the protests, and obviously she is in a lot of pain and she's worried, and she has been she is in Delhi with the protesters and being with them. And what is absolutely alarming and absolutely shocking is that even she was picked up, detained, manhandled, and so on and so forth, put into a police van, roughed up. Now the issue is that this is a kind of a narrative which is extremely worrying for our democracy, because the thing is, if genuine protesters are manhandled, if the mother of a missing boy is picked up and put into the police van, then of course there will be problems. The matter has become very big. It's gone viral. There are social media trolls. But unfortunately, what has also happened here is that the ruling party, supporters of the ruling party in Delhi have also in the centre have also turned around and have accused the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress of playing politics, and have even kind of criticized and trolled people who've tried to defend the mother. So that's extremely sad. In other news, of course, yesterday there was a very big protest at the Mopa, the site of the new airport, where locals of Mopa, please note this, these are locals of Mopa. These are not activists from South Goa. They are locals from Mopa, and they have threatened to intensify their struggle for justice to save their lands and communities for future generations. As you know, the new airport is well underway. The concession agreement is going to be signed by the Prime Minister on the 13th of November. So it's extremely important to see that the locals of Mopa, who everybody thought were compensated and looked after, they came onto the streets. And what is most important is a statement by Sandeep Kamli, who is the convener of the protesters of the Mopa Vimantal Pirit Shetkari Samiti. What he says is that the residents of Varkonda, Kasarwane, Shandel, Ambare, Uge and Mopa in Perne Taluka condemn the government for its anti-people and anti-development attitude and suicidal pursuit of private profits at the cost of life and livelihood of the citizens and future generations. We denounce the ignorance and arrogance of those who have elected to serve us, who are instead trying to crush and permanently destroy our culture, livelihoods and lives in order to serve the vested interests of greedy corporations and rich speculators in land. Now, this is something which of course is a very strong statement. The people of Mopa feel that their lands and livelihood and their future has been taken away. Of course, this is a long drawn battle between people who are displaced out of development projects. What is important to note here is that this particular Samiti, Samiti of people, the committee of the Samiti of people who have been displaced because of the Mopa airport, have been fighting for a long time. They've gone to court. They have there is a litigation going on. There is a large scale movement against not only inadequate compensation but the insensitivity in which land was acquired in a fast track. Though the government, of course, completely denies it, the government feels and the government claims very strongly that compensation issues have been sorted out. Everybody has been paid. Compensation levels have increased, and there is no real substance in the allegation that they have not been compensated and looked after. Now that is something which needs to be looked at very closely and challenged. Our own ground reports have revealed that there is a lot that needs to be looked at as far as the Mopa Airport is concerned. Primarily, the land on which the airport is being built, that needs to be completely kind of looked at. There is a lot of fragile land. There are people there who have lived there for generations and till the land. Now these are issues that need to be looked at extremely seriously. The Mopa issue is still going to be burning, even though the concession agreement is going to be signed and it's going to take off. But I think there is a people's issue that needs to be looked at very seriously, which is not yet been done. There's another story that we would like to look at, and that is, of course, the Aam Aadmi Party has finally said that it doesn't want casinos. The Aam Aadmi Party has held a press conference yesterday. Of course, Dainik Herald has also taken that story on the front page. Now, what is critical to note here is that the Aam Aadmi Party. Okay, let's first discuss or talk about what it has actually said. The Aam Aadmi Party has said that it is the only party which has the will to shut down casinos. It has also said that all casinos are going to be shut down when it comes to power. It has also said that all casino employees are going to be rehabilitated, each one of them, once or if the Aam Aadmi Party comes to power. However, what is important to note is that the Aam Aadmi Party, when it started off, had made three different kind of statements on casinos. They started off by saying that this is going to be an issue that is going to be decided by the people, and it is the people who will decide whether casinos are wanted or not. After that, they went on to say that as far as casinos is concerned, the Aam Aadmi Party would do a public survey, go to the people, speak to them, and ultimately decide what the party would do. And thirdly, they had made another statement which was basically along the same lines of the first two statements. What was important is that while the Congress, of course, there are divisions within the Congress, but the GPCC president had actually apologized for his party taking the decision to let casinos in, and he had said that we apologize and we definitely would like the casinos to be out, when the casinos should have no place as far as the Goa's waters are concerned. The Aam Aadmi Party was criticized that they did dilly-dally for a long time. And then they spoke about this particular survey, a public survey which would ultimately ascertain whether casinos should be there or not. And now, of course, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, in a video message yesterday spoke about Aam Aadmi Party having no truck with casinos, or it is the only party, he said, it's the only party which has a will to take casinos out of the Goa waters. And Ashutosh, the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, who addressed the press conference in Goa, said that casinos are going to be out. The casino business will shut shop. Now, obviously, this is a slight kind of, if not a change of stand, certainly a change of strong positioning as far as Aam Aadmi Party and casinos is concerned. They initially wanted to kind of test the waters to see whether they could go by and get by without actually antagonizing the casino lobby. What has now happened is that they have obviously kind of got feedback. There has been no public survey that Aam Aadmi Party obviously talks about. Otherwise, the details of the survey would be before us on the table. But however, it is realized that especially in South Goa, where the Aam Aadmi Party is expecting to do better than North Goa, the Aam Aadmi Party has realized that taking an ambivalent stand on casinos will just not work, and they have now said that they want the casinos to shut down. We need to know whether this stand of theirs has come a little too late or not. If not, of course, the stand itself is welcome, but at the same time, we need to figure out how serious the Aam Aadmi Party, as well as other political parties, let there be no mistake, are about taking a strong stand against casinos. So that's important. At the same time, the AAP of course trained its guns on Mr. Manohar Parrikar and slammed him for saying that the promises made by him in 2012 were fulfilled. The AAP has reacted to it, saying none of its promises have been fulfilled. One very interesting charge that the Aam Aadmi Party has levelled on the BJP is that they have not taken serious action against Congress leaders who were tainted or who were being probed in various corruption cases, and that's another charge which has been levelled against them. Now moving on, of course, there's another local story that we need to look at, and that is, of course, an interview of the Chief Minister in the Goan. Of course, he completes 2 years, now, and the Goan has interviewed him. The CM apparently has commented on 2 or 3 interesting issues, but he maintains that the BJP has not been in this election for has not ruled just to contest elections. His point of view is here that the party has done whatever it could from day one, not with an eye to polls, but obviously kind of this is poll talk. But more critically, there's a slight interesting, I won't say a controversy, but of course it's a matter of discussion about whether Mr. Parsekar is going to be projected as the next Chief Minister of Goa or not. Now, the Defence Minister, Mr. Manohar Parrikar, whose word obviously counts a lot, turned round and said, when asked whether he was in the fray, said he wasn't in the fray, but at the same time he said that it will be decided by the central party leadership, and he said, why don't you ask when Mr. Amit Shah, the party president, comes? Now, this statement has created a bit of a flutter, and many are taking it to mean that Mr. Parrikar is not endorsing Mr. Parsekar's leadership. Of course, Mr. Parrikar has been quick to denounce that. Mr. Parsekar also, of course, has said that statement shouldn't be. There shouldn't be too much read into it, and he's obviously said that in any case, Mr. Parrikar, though he's the tallest leader, is not authorized to decide on who the next chief minister is. But what is extremely interesting here is that while Mr. Parsekar was kind of mentioned as the person who would ultimately lead the party, I think the correct position that needs to be taken is that it is the responsibility of Mr. Parsekar to bring the BJP into power. That is the role that he has been given. He, of course, remains as one of the top contenders if the BJP does kind of cross the finishing line. But the party, unlike the strong, extremely strong position that it took earlier about continuity, going to take place, and Parsekar is the obvious choice. But I think what has now happened here is that the party is not willing to stick its neck out, as it were, and kind of confirm and put its stamp on the decision yet. I mean, while there is no change in the thinking yet, but it is critical to note that depending on the total number of seats, a decision on the Chief Minister will be taken. If a BJP gets a clear majority, which it looks very unlikely to do, and if there's a government of coalitions and arrangements and outside support, then a final decision on who the Chief Minister has to be taken at a much later stage. So that while not much needs to be read into these statements in the immediate future, but I think the very fact that these statements have been made, where where Parrikar says let the central leadership take a decision, which obviously means that the party doesn't want to kind of stick its neck out at this stage. It wants to finish its business of winning as many seats as it can, and then ultimately taking a call, because that's going to be very, very critical. Now, before we move on to other stories, there is an interesting story in the Times of India here, which says that the mercury plunged to 19.1 degrees centigrade, the season's lowest on Sunday. Yes, it was indeed very cold, especially in the villages of Goa in the mornings. It's become bitterly cold. You can see poders and other people in the morning covering their heads in blankets and wearing warm shawls and coming to deliver bread. Of course, thankfully, most of the schools are still shut, not yet opened after their Diwali holidays. Otherwise, we would see children maybe even in woolens wrapped up, because the mornings are indeed very cold. But it's not a very bad thing, because Goa does miss its winters. It's time to get its woolies out. But 19.1 degree is certainly not the lowest Goa has ever had, but it's certainly one of the lowest, and it's a chill which is quite welcome. At the same time, we would like to also note that another very big story that has been doing the rounds is that of the intense pollution that Delhi is facing, and so much so that schools have been shut and construction work has been stopped. There is a limit. I mean, people are saying there is a limit to what pollution can happen, but because there is an absolute gas chamber in Delhi, things are getting from bad to worse. Schools are shut. 2 Ranji Trophy cricket matches have been cancelled, and in the middle of all this, we have the British Prime Minister Theresa May coming to Delhi with the Times of India saying, "Welcome to the gas chamber, Theresa May," and that is very important. Delhi indeed has become a gas chamber, and if children cannot go to school and cannot make it to school, matches are cancelled, life stops. Generators are banned, which is not a bad thing, but it just shows the extent to which we have allowed Delhi to get so polluted. Let's not be too complacent, friends. Goa is not too far away. The manner in which rampant construction is happening, the manner in which projects are coming in, the manner in which eco-sensitive zones are getting tampered with, hills are getting cut in Goa, landfills are happening, mangroves are disappearing, and construction is happening on paddy fields, it is happening on orchard land, it is happening on hill slopes. The issue is, this also is a major pollution. This will lead to the pollution that Delhi has, but the manner in which our land is getting destroyed and destructed is not at all comfortable. Speaking of which, one of Goa's strongest and the most dedicated warriors against eco-terrorism, Father Bismarck. Father Bismarck's first death anniversary was observed on the 5th and 6th of November over the weekend. Father Bismarck's body still lies in the morgue in GMC. Family members have refused to bury him. The government has said he drowned last year, and there was no foul play. The people of Sateshte, where he lived, which was his village, have refused to accept this verdict of the police and the investigating agencies. And of course, a large number of people got together. They lit candles, they marched, and they spent time at the Babul Manos, which was the spot where Father Bismarck was last seen, and when he went into the river to swim, never to be seen again. And then his body was, of course, fished out. Now, of course, Herald, of course, has supported or spoken about the loss of Father Bismarck to Goa. We did a column on Sunday saying Goa will be certainly poorer, and Goa is really getting poorer by the day when people who ask questions, when warriors against the government's tyranny are no more, and that is something which is sad. We salute the brave warrior Father Bismarck. We salute what he stood for, and the least that we can do is follow in his footsteps. Of course, while we end this week, by the end of this week, America will know who its new president is going to be. They will not, of course, have a new president. That's going to happen only in January. But the race is going to be extremely close. The final hours are on its way. Counting will begin very shortly tomorrow. Of course, we are going to know it all by end of tomorrow, I guess. But it is important to know that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are absolutely neck and neck, while Hillary is slightly ahead, and nobody is kind of leaving nothing to chance, and this is going to be one of the most closely fought American elections, though the campaign has been declared as really one of the worst. And of course, the ISL continues. England is here to play also a test match, to play a test series. The test match in Rajkot is also going to start, so it's going to be a very important sporting week ahead. So keep watching Good Morning Goa. We'll be there every weekday morning, and me and of course my colleague Rajat Desai will be back tomorrow. We'll take you through the week to keep you abreast of all the newspaper headlines and all that's happening in Goa. Good day and a great week ahead. Thank you.